A man is dead after a fire breaks out in a house where 9 registered sex offenders were living. Our Amanda Kenny has the story. Boy, we're missing 2 lights. Breaks out in a house where 9 registered sex offenders were living. Our Amanda Kenny has the story.
Four, three, two, one. Do you have it, Craig? Flick the light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might not be turned on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Fox 40 News starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Suzanne Goldklang. A man is dead after a fire breaks out in a house where 9 registered sex offenders were living. Our Amanda Kenny has more on the story.
Smoke rises from a home in downtown Binghamton where 9 registered sex offenders lived, one of whom didn't make it out.
Regretfully so, it happens a lot.
Fasila Fifi knows all too well the tragedy of house fires during this time of year.
Especially during the wintertime, people leave the heaters running, and of course sometimes it's the cigarettes. It does happen quite often, not all the time, but it's happened a good bit over the past 10 years.
116 Henry Street is owned by a Fifi's family. They housed about 9 tenants ranging from ages 30 to 50, but fire officials say one of the tenants died in the fire.
First arriving companies did in fact find heavy smoke showing from the building, made a very aggressive attack inside, searching for fire, and did find and knock down, and I'm sad to say we do have one fatality.
While the name of the man who died in the fire has not been released, Fifi believes he knows which tenant it may have been.
He was a good tenant. If it was the person that we're pretty sure it was, he was a good tenant for a long time with my father's company.
Fifi and his family own other homes across the city, all of which he says have fire alarms that are up to code. Fire investigators have not yet determined a cause of the fire, but do not suspect foul play. For Fox 40 News, I'm Amanda Kenny. Back to you.
In other news, congressional earmarks get a bad rap as pork barrel spending, but one item blocked by cost-conscious legislators directly affects flood control here in our area. Yanked from the omnibus appropriations bill is the $2.4 million that would have been used to maintain flood warning systems, including stream gauges placed in the Susquehanna. The gauges provide constant updates on river levels.
Without real-time data, the National Weather Service literally doesn't have the information and would have to go back to their old system of forecasting whether chance of flooding is high, medium, or low, instead of being able to say, let's say the Chemung River is going to crest at a certain level by a certain time frame. They won't be able to issue that kind of detailed, accurate information.
The Susquehanna River Basin is one of the most flood-prone areas in the whole USA. A water main break in Endicott is fixed after a week of leaking. Neighbors say the leak on Hall Street began last week. Endicott Waterworks was notified on Tuesday. The source of the leak was found yesterday and repaired today. Well, we finally had a sunny day to make all that snow sparkle a little bit. Mick's standing by with the first look at the forecast. Good evening, Mick.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Suzanne. Yeah, it did sparkle off the snow today, and you know what? We're going to get the same thing tomorrow. But with the clear skies out there, we're going to bring in some frigid temperatures for tonight. Temperatures kind of a nice rebound for tomorrow with all sun, and tomorrow night not as cold. This is what gave us all the sunshine today, a big void in the cloud cover. And that goes back all the way back to the Midwest. So we'll see some sunshine tomorrow. But like I said, with the clear skies, well, that's going to bring temperatures pretty much into the single digits. We're talking Deposit down to, that's not going to stop for me, down 4 degrees in Deposit, 3 degrees in Oneonta. There's going to be a few fireplaces going on up there. As far as the moisture goes, we're dry as a mummy. Mr. Doppler taking a little nappy poo. Let's go outside. We're at 23 degrees, winds out of the west at 7, wind chill 15, humidity fairly low, and the barometer is holding steady. And later on, we'll talk about another storm that's heading right for you-know-who. Okay, Suzanne.
Not another storm, Mick. Area schools are concerned about how much of their funding will fall under the Budget Acts. Our Chris Whalen spoke with several local educators who say one money-saving strategy is already being used.
After Governor Cuomo's budget address Tuesday, one thing is for sure. Cuts are coming to area schools. Big cuts.
For the Binghamton City School District, it's a little over 5%, and that equates to about $2.5 million.
We're talking several $1 million in cuts for this district.
One saving strategy being suggested wherever budgets are tight is consolidation. It's a novel concept, but nothing districts in our area haven't already experimented with.
I think the thing that probably a lot of people don't understand is that There have been consolidation efforts that have taken place and are working very successfully now within the districts.
Such as?
Union Endicott is part of a central business office, so that there's one business office that services several school districts. Similarly, we're part of a shared food service.
And plans are already in the works to extend those shared services to the classroom.
Vestal kids will be able to come to UE next year and take some classes that either they don't offer or we have room in, and vice versa. And we will affect some cost savings there.
While it works with certain services districts offer, Binghamton and UE administrators say that caution should be exercised whenever discussing consolidation.
It's a balancing act, and it's really looking at efficiencies, and it's being able to audit what you do in terms of consolidation so that you know that it's effective.
But McLeod says other measures should be taken before more services are combined.
To simply cut funding without addressing the enormous mandates that we are just simply required to spend to meet is really cutting us off at the knees, and we really need to look at a balance between those two.
Chris Whalen, Fox 40 News.
2 charges against the bar owner accused of ordering his DJ to yell fire to clear the place out. Andrew Urso, the owner of the Rathskeller, is charged with obstructing governmental administration and reckless endangerment in the 2nd degree. He allegedly ordered the DJ to announce there was a fire so that underage patrons would clear out before police arrived during a raid last Friday. That's the same bar where former BU basketball player Mladen Kovacevic beat another student into a coma, and that led police to keep an eye on it.
Of the places down there, that's one of the ones in our radar. I also believe an employee a few years back was stabbed in the alley right to the right of the doors there. So there's things been going on there. Is one of the names that usually come up about minors downtown is them? Yes, it is. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat any of this. So, and I hope the ABC takes this all into consideration.
The Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control will decide what punishment is handed down to the Rathskeller and other bars that were hit during that raid. How will turmoil in Egypt affect the world oil markets and the price of gas here in the USA? Fox reporter Jennifer Davis looks at the connection.
As violence escalates in Egypt and unrest spreads to other Middle Eastern nations, there are growing concerns about how this instability will affect the world's oil supply. Flare-ups across the Middle East and North Africa could have a global effect, since more than 1/3 of the world's crude comes from that region.
Whenever geopolitical events of this type occur, it reminds us of our vulnerability to world oil supply disruptions.
Egypt is home to the Suez Canal, an important route for oil tankers transporting oil from the Middle East to Western countries. So far, it and nearby pipelines have been uninterrupted by the unrest. But oil prices have been rising in the wake of increasingly violent protests, and there are fears that instability could spread to larger Mideast oil producers and affect prices at the pump. At a Capitol Hill hearing, some lawmakers expressed optimism.
Fortunately, it appears unlikely that the political turmoil will result in major disruptions in oil production or transportation, at least at this time.
But others say the Egyptian crisis is yet another argument for increasing oil drilling at home.
We essentially have money buried beneath our own soil, but instead choose to hemorrhage nearly $1 billion a day out of our economy.
While all eyes are on Egypt, there will be interest in monthly U.S. unemployment data released Friday. The U.S. jobs market affects gasoline consumption because as joblessness rises, the number of commuters on the road decreases. In Washington, Jennifer Davis, Fox News.
Still ahead here on Fox 40 News at 6. Could you lose weight by turning down the thermostat? It's an interesting question. Plus, students looking for financial aid are being targeted by con artists. We'll tell you how to avoid the scams. Could keeping your home cooler help you lose weight? Scientists think there might be a connection. British researchers say over the last several decades, people in the U.S. and the U.K. have been raising the temperatures in their homes. The theory is that since the body doesn't have to work as hard to stay warm, it may burn less calories. While more study would be needed to prove the theory, keeping your home cooler in the winter will certainly save you money. Students seeking financial aid are the latest targets for con artists. Karen Kaifa looks at some scholarship scams you'll want to avoid.
When it comes to scholarship scams, a big red flag, anyone who asks you to give them money in order to get you money.
Anyone who's asking you for money to fill out forms or to match you up with a scholarship or aid, chances are it's a scam.
Knowing that most will start their search on the internet, many scams involve websites that look legit with words like foundation or government aid all over, but ask you to pay money up front for access to scholarships that you could find for free. Another popular scam, letters or emails that say your child has been selected for a special seminar or workshop where financial aid forms will be filled out for you for a fee.
They'll fill out an application that's free for you to do anyway, or they'll be trying to pitch you. You're invited to do a seminar. They're trying to pitch you for another product, say to sell you insurance or some sort of investment product.
Remember, there are plenty of free resources to help you with the search, including your child's high school. It's a process you'll want to start early.
Start the search even before you have the acceptance letters. You want to be on the ball with this.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
The Community Hunger Outreach Warehouse, or CHOW, is receiving a big donation, but it's not the usual food or cash. More than 25,000 diapers were presented to CHOW this morning, courtesy of Wise Supermarket. Donations from customers here in the Southern Tier were matched for a contribution equivalent of more than $10,000. CHOW says while food donations are great, there's a huge demand for diapers.
It's a high expense item when you're raising a couple. If you got a couple kids in diapers, that's a big expense for you every month. And so we can help them over the hump a little bit with these diapers. It's going to be really good for people.
Blaine adds that this is the largest diaper donation they've received since the 2006 flood. Well, still ahead, how technology is changing the way people get their Social Security payments, plus mix in with the full forecast. This year has ushered in some changes in Social Security, and Greg Lesko from Lesko Financial Services says it affects not only those collecting benefits, but younger workers who are paying into the system. Hey, Greg.
Thanks, Suzanne. People may have already started to notice the effects of recent changes in Social Security. These were a result of the Tax Relief Act President Obama signed in mid-December. The most welcome change is a smaller bite taken out of your paycheck. Instead of 6.2% of your income, this year you only have to pay 4.2% into Social Security. For someone making $50,000, that's a $1,000 savings. Now, the Social Security Administration also closed a loophole that they said amounted to giving out interest-free loans. You used to be able to start receiving benefits early at less than the full amount. Then when you reached full benefit age, you could reapply, pay back what you'd received, and collect much higher benefits from that point on. But no more. The Social Security folks said that strategy could cost them $5 to $11 billion. So now you have only 1 year after you first apply to repay and reapply. But the biggest change for retirees is bidding farewell to paper benefit checks. Anyone who applies for Social Security from May 1st onward will get their benefits deposited directly into a bank account or loaded onto a prepaid debit card. It's a sign of the times, Suzanne.
So the Social Security Administration is finally keeping up with technology.
Well, that's right, and electronic benefits should be safer for retirees and even save the government some money. I'm Greg Lesko of Lesko Financial. Have a good evening.
Hi, my name is Dan Diedrich, and mixed weather is coming up next, and we can't wait.
Okay, Dan, neither can I. Hey, didn't that sunshine feel good shining through the windows of our vehicle? And by the way, it's good for the serotonin. All right, looks like it's going to be a three-dog night out there as temperatures hit bottom. Tomorrow the sun will warm us back up some, and by tomorrow night, not as cold. Well, this is what gave us 90% of the available sunshine out there today with the clear skies. And you know what? That goes back a couple of time zones and a whole lot of area codes. On the lower 48, the Northeast and the Midwest, especially the Midwest, kind of enjoying a quiet day, and they needed it to regain some of their composure after that last storm that went through. Here's another booger right here gathering moisture from the Gulf, and it's slowly heading in our direction by Saturday. Now, it all depends on the tracking of this. Mostly throughout this year, they've been tracking up and hitting the coastal areas, and we could get some snow out of this. Like I said, we'll have a better grip on this for tomorrow. All right, it's 23 degrees out there, winds out of the west at 7, wind chills 15, humidity fairly low, 48%, and the barometer is holding steady. Here's more temps in and around the region. We have Ithaca 24, Boston, Poctacon, Harvard Yard 27, down in Pittsburgh 27, and who do you know in? It doesn't want to do it for me. All right, there it is, Bloomsburg, another university that wouldn't let me in. Now, this is just a preliminary of the snowfall we could see, anywhere from 1 to 3 to 3 to 6 inches, and once again, bet the under, not the over. It all depends on the tracking of this. All right, let's check this out right here. We've got temperatures going into the cellar tonight. I hope it stops. Good, it does. 9 for us, 4 for deposit. Who do you know over there? And 3 up in Oneonta. Huddle and cuddle night. All right, this forecast is dedicated to the gentleman who built these helmets, the teams that will be playing in the Super Bowl this Sunday. There's Green Bay, and there's Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that was Medford, Wisconsin, he made those. And who's been a loyal fan to that group right there? Ah, must be Suzanne. And we'll take it from there. Crystal clear skies and frigid tonight, 8 wind chills as low as -6. And for tomorrow, golden sunshine, a little breezy, and sort of a feeble sunshine, 29 degrees, but not that bad. And then tomorrow night, increasing clouds, not as cold, 15, and here's your 5-day. My little Valentine, Saturday, snow likely, depending on which way that's going to track, 33. Sunday, just a few flurries and milder. Monday, just clouds, and Tuesday, a few flurries, 22, and back down into the cellar again, 9 degrees. But enjoy tomorrow, everyone. Lots of sunshine. Okay, Suzanne.
Thanks, Mick. Erickson next with news on Yankee pitcher Andy Pettitte. Stay tuned.
disclaimer. The views of Andy Adamson don't reflect Fox 40. Test check 1, 2, 3. January 12th was the last time the BU men registered to win. Their opponent, I used the wrong there.
If we're
January 12th, that's the date that the BU men last registered to win. Their opponent, UMBC. Tonight, the Bearcats are on the road looking for their first win in 6 attempts. Their opponent tonight, UMBC. Even though the Bearcats have been struggling, Mohamed Jabi, the senior forward, has stepped up his game. Over the last week, he averaged a double-double and was named Co-America East Player of the Week. And in the first half of the main game, Jabi was hitting absolutely everything. In the second half, the Black Bears, they got the job a little bit, and he says this is something that he needs to work on moving forward to tonight's game.
It was a mixture. They threw a few defenses at me. I kind of took the same shots, but it was just wasn't going down with the same regularity. So it's just something that I have to work on, because once they start switching defenses up and throwing different guys at me, it's something that I'm not used to at this point. So it's just something that I just have to adjust to.
Well, the game tonight is being televised locally in the area, and we'll have those highlights for you tonight at 10. The Super Bowl is this Sunday, and today is a great day for the players because it's the last day they have to talk to the media until the post game on Super Sunday. The quiet time is welcome from the players, but it also can make for make way for the mind to travel and think about the enormity of the game, just how big the Super Bowl actually is. Players from both sides say they have to battle those thoughts and quickly get over them.
I mean, this is it. You know, there's no more games this season after this game. So you want to be able to try and start fast.
You know, we know this is a big game, but you don't want to get overhyped for the game. Just go out here and just play football, because when you start thinking it as, oh, this is the Super Bowl, then you have a lot of things running through your mind. So you just want to just relax and just go out there and just play football.
News out of the Bronx tonight is that Yankee pitcher Andy Pettitte has decided what he's going to do with his future. Pettitte is expected to announce his retirement Friday at a news conference at New Yankee Stadium. Pettitte won 5 World Series with the Yankees during his 16-year playing career. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be back right after